Hey, you ready for Mass?
Yep.
Guess I better get ready for Mass, too. There, ready for Mass. Could do worse with the hair. You're probably wondering why I'm bothering to actually get dressed and put on makeup when the rest of the week I look basically homeless. Well, it's because today is the day of the Lord's resurrection, the day our Lord saved us and gave us an opportunity to go into heaven. He opened the door. You should always want to give your best to God, even if you're going to be watching it as a family in the living room. You should always be giving your best to God. So don't forget that today is Sunday, and on the St. Mary's Catholic Church app, Father is uploading right now the Mass.
We sacrifice a spotless victim. In humble prayer, we ask you, Almighty God, command that we
Never-ending, reckless
Love of God,
oh, it chases me down, fights till I'm found. Leaves
the 99.
I couldn't earn it, and I don't deserve it. Still, you give yourself away. Oh, the overwhelming, never-ending,
Reckless love of God. Just finished Mass, and now I'm on my way to help a friend. She's elderly, and her husband can't do daily Mass because they don't know how to access YouTube. So my husband and I, because in this time of darkness, decided that we should help all the people that we possibly can, and so should you. So we're heading out to Piney Flats so that we can set up their smart TV and hopefully get them set up on YouTube so they too can watch Mass. So while John works, I figured I could chat with you. The readings today were pretty interesting. I'd never heard this long version. You know, we've all heard the story of the blind man who sits on the side of the road and Jesus heals him. But don't ever forget that when you were born blind, or maybe with any other sort of problem, the Israelite people thought that you had sinned, or your mom had sinned, or your dad had sinned, and they would just basically not let you in the synagogue to worship God, because if you hadn't sinned, you would have been born fine. But lo and behold, Jesus walks by this man begging. Even his own parents had abandoned him. And he reaches out and he spits into the mud of the earth and puts it across his eyes and says, "Go and wash yours out at this particular river." And when he did, Jesus sent him into the synagogue because he was now clean, no more sins. Well, the Pharisees had a real hard time with this, and they questioned the man, and the man told them what had happened. But not believing him, they grabbed the kid's parents. You know, they were like, "This guy isn't real. This is probably just, a guy who looks like the beggar." But the parents came and they said, "Nope, this is my son, and I have no idea how he can see." And they're like, "Well, give us some conclusion." And they're like, "I'm not," because they were afraid. He said, "He's of age, answer him." Now, the man was not going to lie. He could have just been done and said, "Yeah, I don't know how it happened. It was a miracle from God." But he said, "No, it was this Jesus." And they ended up eventually kicking him out of the synagogue anyway. And he met Jesus, and Jesus said, "Those who can see are blind, but the blind will come to see." I think that's the problem in our world right now, is we're only seeing from our perspective. We're looking at this dilemma, this crisis in the world from our own. And guys, I'm not saying it isn't hard. I mean, especially like if you're a senior, or if you're going to miss the prom, or, if, you haven't been able to see your grandmother or grandfather because they're locked away. Whatever you may be feeling, I validate those feelings. I validate them. It was hard when Zachary's ordination was pushed back. We may not even get to see it. If this continues on, they may do a private ordination. It's disappointing. But we can't allow our own feelings to blind us. The whole world is struggling right now. John was telling me that there's a family in Italy, and there's 7 people in this family, and all 7 of them got COVID-19. 4 of them have died, and 3 are on ventilators. That's scary. Whatever we might be feeling, We can't allow it to blind us. Yeah, we see what's going on, and it's horrible. But we have to be like that blind man. We have to sit at the side of the road, begging with our hands out, going, Lord, Lord, I don't understand, but I trust in you. Because at that right time, Jesus is going to come and he's going to, give us the information and the answer that we need. We're not allowed to give up. We're not allowed to pretend it's not happening. As a matter of fact, it's a call to do more. Have you gone outside and checked on your neighbors? I did, across the street, to make sure the little old woman whose husband died a few years ago isn't without something. Have you mowed the lawn for the people around you? Have you prayed for the people? People are losing their lives, and we're blessed. We live in a country where our government is trying to create a stimulus package so that people who have lost their jobs, and there have been many of them. My nephew and his new wife lost their job, both of them. We have a government that's trying to keep us safe. And that means that we have to do our part and we have to stay indoors. And yeah, it sucks. And you know me, if it looks like crap and it smells like crap, it's crap. But at the same time, we're not out with a gun in our hands fighting a war. We're not that family of 7 who lost 4 members and the other 3 struggle for their lives. We're blessed. And we've got to put aside what we see, because then we're just as blind as the Pharisees. Just as blind. Because it's only what matters to us. They were so blind they couldn't see that Jesus created this awesome miracle. The only thing they could say is, he's a sinner because he did it on the Sabbath. A man who was never welcome was now able to be welcomed. And they threw him out. Yeah, it's hard. But we got to get past it. It's going to be a small moment in our life. But what are we doing with that moment? Are we complaining? Are we whining? Are we hiding ourselves away? DJ, are you still on Fortnite? Jag, are you giving your mom lip? Have any of you gone out to see what you can do during this time? Have any of you sent me homemade videos so that I can post it to let everybody know we're praying for them? Do more. It's okay to hurt. But don't be blind. Because those of us who can see become blind because the only thing we see is what we want. Be the beggar on the side of the road and say, Jesus, I trust in you. Lord, how can I help you? Today is a day of resurrection. Today is time to spend with our families, making pizzas, laughing. I'll share some of those later with you. You have to be a strong person to play games in our family. But we have today. We may not have tomorrow, but we have today. Don't waste it. Do something good with this tragedy, and you will grow like a saint. This is a time where saints are made. I know it's sad, but you know what? Stand up, for God has given us sight. Go forth and do good. Leave a comment below and make sure to watch the videos. God bless you all. You know that I'm here for you, and you can reach out and text me anytime, and I love you, and I'm praying for you. But put on that smile even when the world says be sad. Go forth and be Christ in this world. Those who are blind shall see. I love you all.